Hey everybody, welcome to the Comic Wall. I'm the Outcast Angel, and today I'm going to be discussing issue 34 of Outcast by Robert Kirkman and Paul Azaceta. Now, if any of y'all haven't caught up with Outcast or you haven't really read it yet, this episode's going to have spoilers, so go ahead and click out and come back when you caught up with the rest of us. But for everyone else, stick around. So this issue came out this past Wednesday, and it's been a while since the last issue. They've been kind of putting a month between issues lately, and it happens, everyone's busy. So if you guys remember last issue, Roland Tusk has become the new mediator for the Fallen, which is a name I'm gonna give the Possessed or the Demons, just because Robert Kirkman hasn't exactly given us a name yet, so that's my name for them right now. Anyway, so with Roland as the new mediator, he's sending every able-bodied demon to go after Kyle and his family and friends, which are holed up at a safe house provided by Chief Giles, I'm pretty sure it was. All the while, Reverend Anderson is also amassing a huge congregation of people who are leaving the inner, I guess, workings of Rome, Virginia, where the story takes place, because they're starting to see that, things are getting bad, and things are getting really, things have been getting pretty messy in Rome as this invasion has been taking place. Also last issue, Allison, Kyle's wife, convinced him that, this is going to be a big fight. This is probably going to turn into a war, and everyone's willing to do everything they can to work together and bring this to a stop, to figure out how to stop these people. We also got to see more of Roland, showing just how serious he is about getting things done. I mean, if y'all also remember issue, I think it was issue 32, part 1 of Invasion, he tore another guy's tongue out because he was tired of him talking and wanted things done. So, I guess you can say he's pretty serious about this. Anyway, Kyle also showed his skill when Reverend Anderson's congregation managed to capture one of the Fallen in their group, I guess. I'm not sure exactly where he came from. But after purging him, he ended up leaving this guy as a husk. He's just been stripped of everything, and he ends up just as a shell, pretty much. Kind of like when Kyle purged his mom, but I mean, that was unintentional. But I'm hoping they really go into what happens, or like the reason why they lose it all together when they're purged, Then while Megan and Daphne are on a supply run, they get spotted by Roland's police force. If you guys don't remember Daphne, she's the new outcast we met at the beginning of this arc. And while they're trying to get away, they end up crashing, which brings us to this issue. So with this issue, we see exactly what happened after that crash. Megan's car rolls out of control off the side of the road, and they Daphne's fine. I mean, she's hurt, obviously. I mean, she was just in a car crash, but she's conscious, and she's trying to wake up Megan, who's not so conscious. And while the police are going after them, trying to see if they're okay, Megan's still unconscious, and Daphne's still trying to wake her up. And Daphne ends up having to get away because they're already on them, and she can't afford to be caught again. She's already been caught by them before, and that wouldn't bode very well for her. And remember that one Fallen that Kyle managed to purge in front of Anderson's congregation? Well, they end up dropping him at this medical center that that Roland and his Fallen have taken control of. Mostly kind of to send a message and kind of just, let them help him if they can, which obviously they can't. And Roland is actually arriving around that time to see Megan, because that's where they have her holed up. And here we get to see a new, we get a new term, which is stripped, which is what he uses to describe this fallen that Kyle had exorcised. So Daphne makes it back to the safe house, and she's pretty beat up, but she tells Kyle and the rest of them about what happened, and that more than likely Megan's been captured. And something that Mark, her husband, is not very happy about, obviously. So now Kyle is stressing about trying to get Megan back because, she knows where they are, and and just the fact that she's been possessed before, which led to Mark being stuck in his wheelchair and Kyle having to purge her. I don't want to say stripped because you can get the weird context of that word in everything I'm saying here. Anyway, with that being done, that she's captured by the same people who are in the same situation, or by the same people who have who were part of why she was possessed. So it's pretty. I can understand that she'd be pretty terrified being back there with the rest of them. Kyle also has to deal with Reverend Anderson's ambitious fortifying of their safe house and his congregation. He has the big idea to build a fence around the safe house to better, I guess, conceal them and just keep them safe, which we can see in the cover of this issue right here. And with that being done, he's worried that Reverend Anderson's drawing too much attention to their location, but they're gonna need it with everything going on. They're not gonna be very safe, and if they don't have any defenses, it's gonna be very it's not gonna be a fight they're gonna win. While Cal's having a hard time, wrapping his head around it, his father and Anderson are able to convince him that this is what they need, and he admits that the whole thing just scares him. This is turning out to be something bigger than he ever expected, and he's scared that he's not going to be able to handle it, which I would be scared too. It's a big thing. It's turning more massive than this whole story had me thinking when I first started reading it. And it comforts me with him admitting that, because he shows that he's really trying to be a leader, especially in this type of situation going on. It's also pretty cool because Amber, Kyle's daughter, is starting to show that she's starting to understand the type of power that her and her father and her grandfather share, because whenever she's close to like Daphne or Kyle and his father, she starts to feel the power that they all share. And with that power, she's starting to understand like what's going on. And I'm really excited to see where she goes with this, because she's her dad and her grandpa are pretty powerful. So I'm excited to see how much more powerful she's going to end up being. I'm sure she's going to end up being more powerful than them. Then we get to see back to Mark, who's wanting to go after Megan and get her out. He ends up talking with his daughter, and she kind of brings up that you can't even walk. What are you going to do? And I just feel bad because he can't get a break from people telling him that he's stuck in that wheelchair, and it sucks. But you gotta give him props, because he has nerves of steel. I mean, after his wife basically all but threw him out the window, the reason why he's in that chair, he's still sticking by her. He's still going through all this, trying to help out in any way he can. And it's crazy seeing how well composed he is. Okay, so I'm pretty nervous about Roland being in contact with Reverend Anderson's son. I think his name was Matt. Yeah, Matt. Roland is really turning things around, saying that his father has just lost it, and even pointing out that the pentagram that was carved in his chest by Sidney, if you guys remember him, he's saying that he carved it in himself, which is starting to really worry his son. And just the fact that his son is pretty estranged from his father. You know, they haven't talked to each other in years, and just the fact that Reverend Anderson had to, or he chose to leave his son and his wife. I'm pretty sure he had a wife, to battle demons and everything. You know, that kind of sucks. He's not exactly winning Father of the Year in anytime soon. Now Roland has the help of his son to try and find him, and that's not gonna do good, because all he has to do is call Anderson if he manages to get his number or anything, and Anderson's gonna come running, and that's not gonna be good for either of them. I'm pretty sure Matt's probably not going to make it through the end of this arc. At the end of this issue, Roland pays Megan a visit in the hospital, and he all but threatens her that, you know, if you don't tell us where Kyle and the others are, I have the power to bring back whatever was trying to get in your head. You remember how she was possessed maybe about 10, 12 issues ago, and he's basically saying that with the snap of his fingers, he can let that happen again, and that's terrifying, because I never understood the type of control that Roland, or Sydney, the previous mediator, had over these people, and just the fact of knowing that he could just let it happen just like that is just absolutely horrifying to me. And poor Megan, because, you know, she has to hear that, and she knows now that she's really not safe at all in this situation. So this arc is already halfway done, and things are escalating pretty fast. I mean, there's still so many questions, but I'm sure with everything out of the way in these first 3 issues, you know, we're probably gonna really see the closing of this arc by issue 34, 35, 36, by issue 36 or 37 maybe. But especially after Allison's speech in last issue, and Kyle letting go of his reservations about being a leader, you know, sorry, this isn't cooperating with me. You know, I'm sure things are gonna get much more intense in the next few issues. So, I mean, can you cooperate? There, boom, done. Anyway, I'm excited to see what happens, and, you know, I'll be here to talk about it with y'all while we're going through it together. And so, you know, if you guys have any input on this, you know, comment down in the comment section below, and tell me what you think. We can have an open discussion in the comments. I'm down. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Drop a like down below. Subscribe to get more of my videos. Ring the bell to get notifications about when I post new videos. And, you know, I'm just really excited to see what happens, and we'll talk about it together. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.